Right, James, you're back in the side on Saturday. Good to be back.
Yeah, great to be back. You know, as a footballer, you want to play every game you can, but I think Smudger went to right back when I was suspended and did a great job, and there was no complaints for me that I wasn't in the side the next week. So then you're just waiting for your chance, working hard and waiting for your chance, and hopefully I took it when I come back in and can carry on in the team.
When you were waiting for your chance, was there sort of conversations between yourself and the manager? What are you thinking at that point in time?
With the result against Colchester, I don't think there was any need for the gaffer to pull me and say, look, this is what's going to happen, because I think on the starting 11 that played that day, they all deserved to play the next game. You know, there was no complaints for me, and that's what you've got to accept as a footballer, and that's the way the game goes, so you've just got to wait for your next chance.
The fact that Smith did go across into that right back position, it does show the strength and depth you've got in the side this season. There's a lot more competition, isn't there?
Yeah, massively. You know, Bray's come in and kept Smudge out the team, and we know what a good season Smudge has had, and it shows how well Bray's did when he comes in. He's just got unfortunate with his injury, which meant before that Smudge went to right back and did a great job, so there was no complaints. And then obviously Brace gets injured again, which gives another person a chance to come back in, and that's the way the football goes.
Has it made you reassess at all? Up until then, your place in the team was pretty much sealed, it seemed, from an outside perspective. But now you've got a sort of thought that Smith can play there and can produce in that position.
No, not at all, because we've seen early on in the season Will Atkinson slotted in there and did a great job and kept me out the team for a couple of games then. You know, you've got Mitch coming back from suspension, so you can't really take it for granted that your place is safe in the team, and expect to play every week, because that's not the way it's going to go.
And there are 10 games to go in the season. You're in a playoff position. What's the mood like amongst the change room?
Positive, but disappointed from the weekend. You know, it's 2 points dropped and felt like a loss at full time, because especially with the 2 goals being so preventable. But that's a positive. If you're coming in drawing a game and you're feeling like a loss, you know, that's a positive. So we've got to focus on Saturday and hopefully go to Cheltenham, which is a massive game for us again, and get 3 points.
The fact that it did feel like a loss really shows that mentality shift you've had this season, doesn't it?
Yeah, massively. You know, the lads usually, we last few years we'd crumble at situations like that, but the situation that we're in now, you know, I think a few people have said it, that last year we were going to Notts County and it was a relegation fight, and it was a mustn't-lose game. We had to get something from the game, and we did. And then this year you're fighting for a playoff place, so it's much more positive, and that's as a footballer where you want to be at the top end of the table rather than at the bottom, fighting for playoffs rather than relegation.
What's the chat like amongst the squad? Obviously you've got to be excited because you're in a great position with 10 games to go, but you've got to stay humble and stay grounded and I guess focus on the task. I
think that's what we've done all season, stayed grounded. You know, we took it game by game, and we've slowly just crept into the playoff places. You know, we take it game at a time, and these 10 games are massive, but we all know what the squad's capable of. We all know what we can achieve, so it's about putting it together, and especially for the last 10 games.
What does the manager say to you in this run going into the last 10?
He just says to keep doing what you're doing. You know, we're one of the fittest teams in the league, so if we work hard, you know, the rest of the football will take after itself, as it's shown against some teams that we've played. You know, he says he wants us to keep grounded, not get too excited, but obviously when you're in this position, it's hard not to think about what can happen. But I think we all know as a squad, as a whole, and as a club, what we can achieve, and hopefully we can do it. As
we do in football, we get excited and we look to the next best thing. 3 teams in the automatic spots drop points on Saturday. Is automatic out of the question? I think when you're taking it game by game and you're picking up points, you know, recently we've been winning at home and drawing away. And Gaffer said at the start of the season, if you do that, then that's playoff promotion form. You know, and anyone knows what can happen. You know, you've seen, I know Forest Green were right up there, but have dropped off it now. But then you've got teams like us coming from mid-table and having a push. You know, football's a funny old game, so anybody could clinch them slots. Can I ask from a personal point of view, going into games this season and at the moment, how does it feel in contrast to last season when you turn up to a game and put on the Vale shirt? I think all around the positivity's better coming home, and it's not as I don't know what the right word is here. It's much more positive from minute one. You know, regardless of what went on behind the scenes last year, this year's been much better. So when you put the shirt on, it's always a great pride. But I think as a whole the club is pulling in the right direction, and I think you can tell with the performances. You know, teams will come here and sit off us and respect us for what we've done this season, but in the past teams would come and have a right go at us because they think we could nick a couple against them here. I think that just shows how far we've come. Absolutely. And Cheltenham next up, 4th in the league. It's going to be tough, but there's no reason you can't go there and get a result. No, we've been there in the FA Cup and got results, and I thought we did okay against them in the league. But it's a team we know
we've played them 3 times already this season. We know what they're about, and hopefully we can get the 3 points down there.
Do you think that could be a real game changer, that fixture, in terms of your ambition for this season?
I think they all are, but with the fact I think they're 5th or 5th, and I think they've just opened up a little gap between us and them. It'll always be good to drag them back into where we are and get closer to the top 3.
And for you personally, how much would it mean to finish in the playoffs, and maybe automatics, we'll say it quietly, for you personally?
Massive, because I remember when I was in the academy and they got the promotion here, the automatic from League Two. So that's I was watching that in the stands, and that's what you want to do at the end of the day, is get promotion for the team you're playing for, and it'd be brilliant for me, brilliant for the city. So, but you can't get too carried away, and we'll just see where it takes us.
And you mentioned sort of watching on from the stands at those teams in the past getting promoted. Has there been anyone into the club to maybe offer you some advice on how to handle the running?
I think Popey was there that season. Dodsey, I still keep in contact quite a bit. Yatesy as well. So I speak to all them quite regularly, and they know what it's like because they're all experienced pros and played a lot of games. So it's always good to have them sort of people advising you and giving you the right advice.